So our email, or our message, sorry, is going to just say, thanks for registering. Thanks for registering. Click the link below to activate your account. Now, with messages using the PHP mail function, which is what we're going to use to send the activation email, with such messages, in order to create multi-lined messages, we want to use the \n character sequence, I guess you could call it. And essentially, that will make it so we have a new line. And then we want to take our message variable, and then we want to say dot equals, and then whatever else we want the message to be on the next line. Now, you must be very careful to have the dot equals in here, because that means we want to concatenate or append whatever text is right here onto this variable code right there. So I'm just going to put in the link here, and I'm also going to create a site variable in a moment, and then it will be activate $code equals $code, and we'll say user equals $get user and. So right there, that will just be our simple activation link, passing in some URL get variables. And whoops, I forgot the PHP there. Passing in some simple URL get variables, and that is so the user won't have to enter them. And in the activation page itself, we will make it so you can still enter them. It'll just be a form, and we'll get all this information and then display it. So I'm going to put in another \n, and I'm going to take this message variable, concatenate on again, and I'm going to say you must activate your account to log in. So yeah, pretty simple. Now I'm going to create that site variable, and essentially that would just be your URL to your site. Now, since I'm running off of localhost, mine's going to be http://localhost/tutorials/member system right there. And you don't want to add in that that last slash there, because we have it right here, and it would just look really, it would be really bad if we had two slashes. So make sure that's right. Member system. Yep. Okay. So that is all the information to send the message. Now we need to actually send the message. So we want to use the PHP mail function. Now, the PHP mail function takes quite a few parameters. We have the email address that we want to send the message to. We have the subject of the message itself, and then the headers. And our headers is essentially saying who the message is from. So we want to set this to our get email for our first parameter. Our next parameter will be our subject. Our next parameter will be our message. And then the last one will be our headers variable. And I'm going to put this inside an if statement. And that is just so we can make sure that the message itself is actually sent. Because obviously, if the message isn't sent, then there's a problem. Alright, so if our mail function works and it sends our message, we're going to do whatever's in here. But if it doesn't, we want to set our error message to an error has occurred. Your activation email was not sent. Alright, so right there, pretty self-explanatory. And the last thing we want to do is we want to set our error message inside of here to say you've been registered. You must activate your account from the activation link sent to, and then I'm going to put in bold tags, and I'm going to say get email. So, yeah. So that will set our message there. But what we want to do is after we create that message there, we want to clear out our get user variable, which we want to set it to nothing. And we also want to do the same thing for the get email variable. And the reason for that is because after the user is registered, we don't want the form to be refilled in with the information that's already been registered with, because we don't allow duplicate registrations. So, if I was to go ahead and refresh this, as long as we don't get any errors, then pretty much that means we don't have any syntax errors within our code. So we're just going to go through a simple registration process. I'm going to say my username is admin, and I'm going to say my email is admin@nickfrosty.com. And do note that my email for my current account is admin@nickfrosty.com. So obviously it's not going to allow that. And my password, I'm just going to say is nickfrosty, password nickfrosty. I'm going to hit register, and problem with the form, and that's because I forgot the .php extension there. Resend, and I don't think that's going to work, no. Alright, so we'll go to register PHP again. We will register with nickfrosty, admin@nickfrosty.com. Password of, we'll just go with password this time. And we click register. There is already a user with that username. So our username is Nick Frosty, and it's already registered, so we'll try admin. And you must retype your password to register. So retype that, register. Your password did not match. That's because it refilled that one in. Register. There's already a user with that email, so this is all working, and I will just change this to I don't know, nickfrosty.info, and then retype in my stuff, password, register, and I will get errors here. So an error has occurred, your activation email has not been sent. But if we reload our database, and it might make me log back in, yeah. So if we reload the database, you can see that I have created my account with our code, our date, and everything there. But it failed to connect to the SMTP server, or Simple Mail Transfer Protocol server. And that's just simply saying it couldn't send the email. And the reason is because I'm on localhost, and my localhost isn't configured to send emails. But it will work, I assure you. And if it doesn't for some reason, message me at feedback@nickfrosty.com, and I will definitely help you out with your code. Or you can post on the Nick Frosty forums, whatever. Glad to help. So this pretty much concludes the registration part of this of the member system. Later on, we will work on our activation page, and then a forgot password page. And I'm very much considering creating a resend email activation page, because that is pretty much a necessity now. So yeah, I'm considering that. If I get enough requests for it, then I will do it. So yeah. So this concludes this video. Don't forget to check out my website, follow me on Twitter, and subscribe on YouTube.